Hey therapists, so I know that you are dedicated to helping others with their achieving their goals and with their mental health. However, when it comes to filing your taxes, it can be easy to make these costly mistakes. So I'm going to talk about some common mistakes that my clients made prior to working with me. If you're new here, my name is Jeanette Andrada, and I help therapists stress less about taxes so they could focus more on working with their clients. I did want to add, if you enjoyed this video and you find this content helpful, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. There are a lot of therapists that have the same questions that you do, that are stressed with their taxes and their bookkeeping, their accounting for their private practice. So make sure to interact with my content so I could reach more therapists and help answer all of their tax and accounting questions. Let's dive right in and talk about the common tax mistakes that my clients made prior to working with me. The biggest one, the one that I always, every time I speak with a new client or prospective new client, this is always true. Not always, so 99% true. The first one is not keeping accurate records. There are a lot of therapists that come to me that they either one, don't do their own bookkeeping. They might not even realize what bookkeeping is or what's required of them when they're running a business. The second thing is spreadsheets. Some of my therapist clients, they come in and do spreadsheets, which is not entirely bad. However, it's not foolproof, and there's a lot of mistakes that could easily be made when you're doing manual data entry. And then, of course, I have people that come to me because they set up their QuickBooks account, they got overwhelmed with it, and they just never touched it again. And they keep telling themselves that they'll get to it later, get to it later. And before they know, it's the end of the year and they haven't gone back to do their bookkeeping, and they have not been keeping accurate records. So why is record keeping and your bookkeeping that important? Well, without the proper documentation, it's going to be really challenging for you to prove why you deducted something and all the expenses that you deducted on your tax return that could potentially lead to an audit or penalties for not reporting things or misreporting things. So it's essential to keep track of all your expenses and keeping your receipts. You could always just take a picture of them, put it in a Google Drive folder, or keep a paper stack. It doesn't matter as long as you have some proof that this was a business expense. You want to make sure that you do have a system of keeping everything in order. I always recommend, and I always will recommend, to go with QuickBooks. QuickBooks has the tools, all the tools necessary for you to be able to track everything. And on top of tracking, you have your financial reports. So whenever it comes to taxes, you have all the information you need to do your tax return. And then another thing is you want to be able to see how your business is doing, right? Like you want to see where you could cut down costs or if you're reaching your goals. So that's going to help. When you have an S corporation, it's especially important because we need to report what's called the balance sheet, which reports your assets, your liabilities, and your equity in the business. You don't want to do that by yourself. So getting something like QuickBooks, it'll be done for you as long as you're keeping up with the books and you're reconciling everything and you're making sure you're accounting for everything correctly. Next thing is missing deductions. So these tax deductions, if you don't know about them, it's not going to be very helpful for you. So these deductions could significantly reduce your taxable income and saving you thousands of dollars. And again, some therapists, they are not aware of what to claim and they don't have the necessary documentation to claim it. Make sure that you're educating yourself and what you could claim as a therapist. Keep your records accurate and work with somebody, a tax professional or an accountant, to ensure you're maximizing your deductions. You really won't know until it's too late if you try to do it on your own. So not that you can't do it on your own, just make sure to educate yourself and know the questions to ask. Even though you don't know exactly how tax deductions work, at least have some type of knowledge. Being on this channel, watching this channel is going to be great for you because I will give you bits and pieces of all these little things that might apply to you, and now you know what questions that you want to ask. Finally, this is a big one. a big one that I see all the time, and I wish I did not see this because it's easy to not do this. So it's mixing personal and business expenses. When you are mixing these expenses up, so let's say you have a personal bank account, your business money is going in there, or you have a business account with your business money being or going in there, but you're using all that money for personal purposes, right? So that is very tempting. It's easy, especially if you're just getting started. It's just so easy. It's the easy thing to do. But that's going to lead to a lot of confusion. It's going to lead to tax issues, and mixing those, it's going to be challenging for you to prove deductions and expenses to the IRS. That's going to make it very tough for you. To avoid making this mistake, it's simple. Just keep them separate. Don't use the same business account for both. You're going to want to have a credit card for the business. You want to have a bank account for your business, and you're only going to use those for business related expenses. It's going to make your life easier. You're not going to have to worry. It's going to make taxes easier. And also, it sets you up as a business owner and having that business minded perspective, because it is a business. You have a real business. Even if you're a solo practitioner, you have a business. So let's just make sure that we're keeping everything separate and keeping everything clean to avoid issues in the future. So these are very, very easy tax mistakes that you could avoid, right? And if you do need help with anything, reach out to me. This is what we do. We help our clients identify these tax mistakes, and we help resolve them. We help save you time, money, and especially stress, knowing that everything is being taken care of, everything is set up correctly, and you're doing everything correctly. By working with us, you can ensure that you'll be maximizing all your deductions and potentially any tax issues in the future. So, which of these mistakes are you doing or were you doing when you first started your private practice? I don't ever want you to feel embarrassed by making these mistakes. It happens, especially when you're just getting started. So, I think as long as we share with each other and, of course, we fix all of this, then you are on the right path. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around for this video. I really appreciate you. Well, I am going to sign off, and I will see you next time.